Ember approached the forlorn, but felt it was different. They said, I know what I need to do. I don't want to be helped. Ember could not help. Not all problems were puzzles to be solved. The Wanderer's Diary. Unfamiliar trees, a path overgrown. Is this a resting place? A place between places? I call out, but mine is the only voice. The crossroads gate was locked. Do you know where we are? I've been walking forever, lost in the marsh. The two travelers were talking quietly. Yeah, I got so lost in the marsh. I go anywhere else if it's safe here. Yeah, never having to worry again. The birds scare me though. The guard squawked. Stand back, don't come any closer. The guard was protecting a path down between the rocks. Nothing down there but sadness and turning forlorn. Go see the Forest King. He'll set you straight. The Forest King showed me the way. You'll see there's no need to keep going. He'll make a bird of you. Go get your feathers. The guard joked. Another scrawny Ember from the forest, and with a bag looking all nicely, both guards started looking at Ember with a deathly stare. The guard leered. The Forest King would like you, little... Yes, come a little closer. Let us see what's in that bag. We guard the door to the Forest King. Oh yes, we decide who gets to see the king. The Forest King will want to see you. Yes, yes, come this way. A feeling of foreboding overcame Ember. Ember was terrified but tried not to show it. The giant bird spoke softly. Another little Ember. Do not fear. The bird is a friend. Ember wanted to feel safe. Oh, little Ember. Birds won't hurt. Birds will take another under our wing. Stay safe in the nest, you'll never turn forlorn. Ember was still afraid. Is it the night that scares you, little one? See, night is gone. Birds will make the world less frightening. It wasn't only the night that frightened Ember. The bird was disappointed. Stay? No need to help, silly forlorn. Hope is false. Hope hurts little ones in the end. The Forest King spoke so gently perhaps they could rest here for a while. It was hard to know what else to say. Clever little Ember, you will stay. You will not turn forlorn. Search for hope no more. Now take this feather. Feather means Ember is one of us now. Birds keep little ones safe. Birds should never leave the nest. The guards seem pleased. Clever Scruff sticking with us. I can hold that bag for you. Leave them alone. They're one of us now. Yeah, one of us. And we all shares bags and things. The stranger wanted Ember's attention, being careful not to speak too loudly. You should get away from here while you still can. You can't trust the bird. I've heard there's another campfire in the... Well, that's where I'm going if I can find a way down. The travelers had disappeared. Their campfire remained. The ashes were still warm. Bird tracks lay in the cinders. The guard squawked. Stand back, don't come any closer. Nothing down there but sadness, and go see the Forest King. He'll set you straight. Got your first feather, I see. Best prove yourself. Stand watch here. Promise you won't let anyone pass. Ember didn't like deceiving the birds. But what choice did they have? They couldn't rest in that place forever. They had to keep going. This forlorn was not the same as the others. The forlorn whispered softly, I know what I need, but I am not... I may never be ready. The future is yours, stranger, but mine is mine. Ember left the forlorn with their thoughts. The time wasn't right, perhaps would never be. Ember hurried away from the birds. The mist hung close to Ember, hiding them. The Forest King seemed frightened. The birds crew. Ember would rather risk turning forlorn than become like them. Ahead there would be others to help, and maybe a way to move on. Ember found the Wanderer's diary. The oily smell of frogs. They know more than they will say. They watch me watching them. The traveler whispered quietly, "No matter where I go, no matter where I go, always here." Ember uncovered a journal entry. Dusk brings the longest shadows. The lanthorn comforts me. Soft melodies from home. The wild things listen, yellow eyes in graying trees. It looked like a map, but pieces were missing. The piece formed a new route. It was the same place as before, but how? In a haze, they said, "You're just like me now, going round and round and round and never escaping." An eerie scene, like a moment frozen in time. Gradually, more of the map was revealed. A section of bridge had somehow been ripped from its foundations. It was like the map had been broken on purpose. The mist revealed a secret place. Was it hidden on purpose? The stranger spoke. You know, part of me didn't want... I said some things I shouldn't have. And now I'm lost. And it's too late. The skeleton looked peaceful. Held tightly in its hand was a red feather. The statue spoke. Just as it once moved the hearts of the forlorn, the instrument you now hold has the power to move the world of another before you took great effort to hide it deep within this riddle. The lanthorn began to glow. Hidden away was a scrap of journal. There are memories here, bound in rock. I hear their voices echo in the ancient stone. I find footprints by the cinders, a makeshift camp. Ember found a scrap of journal. I heard them coming. The snap of a twig, a flutter of birds. A figure dashing through the undergrowth. Another like me? There was one last place to reach on the map. Ember felt a great relief to be out of the mist. The way through was ruined. Muffled by the fog, Ember was sure they had... Could that have been a tremendous snow? Ember didn't mind getting muddy. The slide was such fun. A sleeping pig. Trotters in the air. They looked happy. The plant looked like it could take a hand off, and it was in Ember's way. The fruit was giving off a sickly sweet smell. Ember chuckled. The dangerous plant was no match for a hungry piggy. A hideous odor filled the air. And suddenly, the reason was obvious. The pig inhaled a giant snort of air. Wait, what's that delicious smell? Ember shuffled nervously. Other embers fed me treats, but then stopped. You feed me now. As the pig chewed, a light grew in its belly. Fruity, fresh, but tastes a lot like mud. But what I want is something with more crunch. The pig would eat anything. Ember just needed to find more. No, I want something different. It was junk. Maybe the pig would eat some junk. And with each thing it ate, the light grew even brighter. Surprising, a little sparky, but tingly in belly. But what I want is something with more crunch. Perhaps if Ember could satisfy the pig, they might be more helpful. The skull was disgusting. Perhaps the pig would like it. This was the last thing Ember could find to offer. Crunchy, embery, not much meat, bit too bone, but what I want is... The pig's stomach made an almighty sound. Ember chuckled with relief at the large creature they had been so afraid of. The pig had vanished, but something moved beneath the surface. In a muddy pond, Ember thought the pig looked a lot less imposing. The pig shouted joyously. The water feels so good. Join me, morsel. The pig seemed happy, but Ember wasn't getting too close. Why do I consume whatever people put in front of me? I need some true nourishment, but there's none left here. But so much cooler in this muddy pond, I can finally think. Thank you, morsel. Cheerily, the stranger said, "Don't say much, little friendy. Remind me of one of those golem statues. Stood there, mouth open. I like you." Hidden inside was the wanderer's journal. Another face at last. A catcher of fish resting by a pond. We work together, silk and tar and aching fingers. My boat floats once more, though I almost wish to stay. A stone golem frozen in the lake, a relic from a forgotten time. Ember came upon another campfire lost in the wilderness. It looked long cold, but ready to be lit. The ghost said, "Speak and I will listen." This is the hollow marsh. Here hope was consumed before it could flourish. You must not lose hope, or you too will turn forlorn. Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. There are others lost along their journey. Find them and I will guide them. Down steps to your east, travel the path south, watching a pig grow unhappy, a forlorn lost hope. Inside was a secret diary entry. Pink, orange, red, brown, leaves gently dancing to the ground. Crunch, crackle, lovely sound, fall into a giant mound. A lost message was inside. The mist is thick. One way blurs into another. Where do I end? Where does the world begin? I cannot see far enough to tell. The stranger had come so very far. They felt the air beneath them, the distance ever widening. It was such a long way down. A resolve stirred within the stranger. Just a few more steps. It can't be much further. As the forlorn awoke, The campfire flickered into life. The ghost said, "Speak and I will listen." Eased by wooden bridges on a lonely plinth, a forlorn sits in sorrow.